Hello everyone, this is Orlando from A Collector's Dream. And what I'm going to do today is what I did about 2 years ago, one of my first videos when I started YouTube. And that's to show my, my Mantle run. And the reason that I started my YouTube channel, if you don't know yet, which most people have been following me will know, was to document my collection because I collected, alone. And, my family knew I had cards, but really nobody knew what I had. It was a lot of it, most of it was in the safe deposit box and it was just hidden away. And, I'd bring it out and I'd look at it and, for a long time when I got bored, I'd put it away again. And, that's kind of how my collecting went for all my life. So I was inspired to put my collection and pull it out and document it, and I did. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just kind of going through my Mantle cards, and I'm going to show you my Mantle run. And I'm also going to show you, before I get to that, just some other Mantle cards that aren't really part of the run, but we'll take a look at those too. So here's one, and I have a lot of other cards that are in SGC holders. These are just the ones in the PSA, which are really not big cards. They're cards like these. You know what? Since I'm gonna document these, I'm gonna take these. Hopefully you guys don't mind taking a little bit of time. It's gonna take some time. Probably gonna be like a half-hour video, but I'm going to document my Mantle run one more time here and take a look at these cards so I can have this video forever. And when I want to look at my cards, I can just look at them here. So this is the 62 home run leaders, and this is a great card because it's got Roger Maris when he hit 61 and Mickey Mantle. Great year, and Harmon Killebrew, of course. Another card from 62 that I really love is this one here. And this is the Manager's Dream card. And that's got, of course, Willie Mays and Mickey Mantle. You're going to see all of these cards are going to be in old PSA. 90% of these cards, just a few of these, 3 or 4 were actually bought graded. I bought all these raw. You could see, you'll see all the numbers kind of coincide here, see? And let's see, so, and then 630 is the next one, 448, 630 is this one, see? So anyway, just to share that these cards I collected way back when. I started collecting Mickey Mantle. He was my favorite player when I was a kid. I started collecting in the late 60s. And Mickey Mantle was just the guy, everybody admired at that time. And so I started collecting Mickey Mantle cards when I got back in, really when I got back after high school. Before that, I would just open packs of cards and build sets. And that was from 1970 on. So that's the All-Star card. And here's another All-Star card. These are not in the actual registry. And it's just, I picked up some, they're part of the Topps cards. And this is the 59, the All-Star 59. And these are just really nice cards. So I was just a big Mickey Mantle fan growing up. And it was just one of those things that when I really got back into it, I said, I'm going to try to pick up Mantle cards and try to get all the Mantle cards that I could. And I'm talking, this was in the 80s. So I started picking up some cards here and there, and you know, I really didn't, and I'll show you as each card goes along, just going through real quick just to make sure I want to put, the Mantle run consists of 21 cards. There, that one's not part of it. 21 cards, and it's the basic tops and the basic Bowman cards. And so here's another card that's not part of the run. So I collected Mantles, you know, I would get them all, you know, raw. And just, you know, well, here, you could see these here. Here's another one here. That's from the one I sent in, this 142. So you'll see most of these. I would go to shows and I would look for them and just, you know, buy the nice ones. When I would see a nice one, I would just buy it. You know, and at that time, you know, it wasn't centering wasn't a big deal. You know, my thing was I wanted to get the nice picture, nice focus, and a sharp card. So this one, you know, it is a sharp card. It's a 5, but it's, you know, a little bit off center. Just probably not a card for Dylan, but for me, you know, I remember almost every one of these cards, where I got them, or sometimes I went, not really sometimes the person I got them from, but some of them I do remember the dealer, or person that I traded with, or the person that I bought a collection from. So the 62s, I do remember the person that I bought his 62 set, and that's a 62 set that I got, and those are the cards that were in there. I remember he pulled them out of packs. And another card that's not part of the actual Mantle run is this, the 54 Red Heart. And you know, I remember getting this card because I really never thought that I would get the 52 Tops card. So, you know, to me, this was the closest that I thought it looked like the 52 Tops. It kind of had that similar style. So you know, this was kind of I remember when I got that, this was kind of my substitute. And I bought this raw also. Yeah, this was one of the 142s that I sent in there. I sent all these kind of together at one shot, most of these. So I remember, it's a nice sunny day here in South Florida, actually, and it's snowing very, very badly over up north is what I hear. One of the big snowstorm here, they're saying it's like a storm of the decade or something, but here it's windy, but it's a beautiful day, sunny day, as you can see. But I really love this Red Heart. And I remember picking it up, and it was just beautiful. I really thought it would grade a little bit better than it actually did. So it graded a 6, but this one was really nicely centered, and you know, it was just really nice. The corners were pretty nice on that, and I really liked this. So this was kind of one of the cards that I said, you know, it's a beautiful card, and I'm gonna get that. So that's the Red Heart Mantle, and it was graded in a 6. So those are some of the cards that are not part of the Mantle run, and I have a few more. They're in SGC holders, and a couple of them like the scoops and stuff like that. I think I have them still raw, but just those are not part of the run. So let's see. Okay, here's another one that's not part of the run. And, you know, I haven't picked up many Mantles. In the last year, I only picked up one Mantle card, and this is the one that I picked up because a lot of them now, I'm kind of buying more SGC cards. And this is the one that this is not part of the Mantle run because this is the O-Pee-Chee, 67 O-Pee-Chee Mantle. And this was the only Mantle that I picked up in the last 2 years, really. And it's the O-Pee-Chee, you know, it's got a little bit, it got a 2 because it's got a little print marks on there, but it's a sharp card. It's a tough card to find, much tougher than the 67 Tops. So I got that, and you could see the difference is here in the bottom that it says printed in Canada. So that's the difference, and there's a lot less produced. And you can go back and look at the video I did on this card when I got it, when I picked it up. So again, it's not part of the Mantle, basic Mantle run, but It's a beautiful card. So I got that. Let me see what else I have that's not part of the Mantle run, and then I'll go ahead and kick off the Mantle run that took me 30 something years to put together. So that's it. Okay, so let's start with the Mantle run. So the Mantle run starts, and I'm gonna start back with 69. We're gonna start with 69. And here we go with the 69 Mantle, the name in yellow. I don't have the name in white. I'd like to get that one day, but really I've kind of moved on from Mantle. I'll pick one up when I find something at a good price that's kind of rare, which like I did with this one. And I may do that with the Mantle, but I'm putting my money more into pre-war stuff, so I don't really want to put too much into the Mantle. I could always pick up a Mantle white letter. They're not that difficult to come by, actually. So that's the Mantle 69, and that one is in a 7. And the back, it's really, really nice, really sharp. Really pretty well centered. It's tough to get these cards centered. 69 was terrible. So that's the 69. Let's go with the 68. Should have removed all the sleeves, but I don't want to leave it in those sleeves and show you the PSA logo and stuff, so I'd rather remove it, and let's wipe a little bit here. Here we go. So this is the 68. Again, they're all, for the most part, going to be in the old PSA slabs, but I'm a collector. I'm not looking to sell them, and this one's off-centered, but it's a really super pack fresh. Looks like it came right out of the pack, and I kind of got it. Oops, come on. Can't get that centered. There you go. So I in those days, you wanted to get the cards that were as pack fresh as possible, that they really were, almost like brand new. And that's kind of what you look for in the center and registration. And centering, I tried to get good centering, but in those days, sometimes you just couldn't find them, because all of these cards, not most of these, all of these cards you're looking at here, except for this, but all of these cards, I got them going to card shows. So it wasn't as easy as it is today. Today, you guys have it a lot easier. I didn't have eBay. I didn't have any internet back when I was collecting. We didn't have computers when I started collecting. So I didn't have any options. So it was all doing card shows as a dealer, as a part-time dealer. Every at least once a month I would do a card show. And that's really how you would get them. You would go to dealers and you'd ask them if they got anything in there, anything new, and you'd go through and try to pick up like this, like this Mantle here. And this is the 67 Mantle, and this one is really nicely centered. And it's a beautiful picture of the Mick. Not my favorite Mantle card, probably one of my least favorite Mantle cards, but it's Mickey Mantle, and this one's in a 7. And again, it goes with the O-Pee-Chee. A little bit of a difference in the O-Pee-Chee, I'll show you. But this one, again, most of mine are going to be pretty much kind of pack fresh cards here, because I got them long time ago. A lot of times they haven't been through most of my Mantles, as far as I know, haven't been through a lot of hands, a lot of owners. Either I got them, from like the 62s and the 59s. I got those directly from the original owner of those cards. Different people, of course. And then some other ones I got them from dealers that would buy them from people who came to sell to them, So a lot of these are not going to be cards that were handled. And again, I got them raw. So, that's just, back in those days, that's kind of what you did. And this is the 66 Mantle in a 6. Hey, come on, my camera's not doing great today. Try to give you a good look at it. This one's top to bottom is not centered as well, but again, it's a sharp mantle, and I just, you know, I like to pull them out and look at them and just, you know, enjoy my cards. You know, you don't need to go constantly show your new cards or look at new cards. You know, and I love that. Well, it's one of the nice cards. It's a very basic. 66 is probably one of my least favorite sets, but this mantle is a nice mantle with the batting cage in the back and stuff, so I like that one. So, and then the back is also pretty nicely centered. You know, the tough thing with the vintage cards is, you know, this one's almost perfectly centered in the back, but then in the front, it's more top to bottom. And then if it's perfectly centered in the front, the back tends to be off-centered. So to find both is really, really almost impossible. So, but most people, of course, you want the centering better in the front. But, you know, like I said, times were different back then. And, you know, I didn't have the option of going on eBay and looking through eBay and searching, you know, 20, 30 Mantle cards. You know, you'd go to a show, you may find a couple of them, and none of them, you don't want to buy them. They weren't that great shape. So you keep looking and keep looking, and over the years, you know, you finally come up with the cards that you like and that you know. And, you know, so a lot of my cards kind of, and this is the 65 Mantle. Get this back in here. My camera is just failing on me today, but I'm gonna take my time and just enjoy my cards here. So this is the 65 Mantle. And again, this is a real sharp card. It's again off-centered, side to side, but I mean the picture on that, you know, it's just really nice. It's a nice, the banner, real bright yellow. Got the player in the back there. So it's just enjoy looking at my cards and the man on the back. And you know, a lot of times you'll see these that, you know, you won't have the blue all the way around, you know, and you know, so I look for some of that stuff. I mean, remember, this is pre-grading. I'm an old guy. This is pre-grading. All of these cards, most of these cards, I picked them up before in the 80s or in the 90s. And really, the grading started in the early 90s. So it was one of those things that you really didn't know. But, you know, I learned a lot by talking to a lot of the dealers. You know, I got to meet people like Alan Rosen, Mr. Mint, and Alan Hager, and, you know, Kit Young, and, you know, all those dealers, and Fritch, and, you know, that were in the hobby for so many years, and you got to learn from all those guys. And, you know, even just like today, you know, today there's a lot of dealers out there that, you know, it's great that you can go out there and talk to them, and I do that too. And so this is the 1964 Mantle, and this one is in a 7. So you can see how this is really a beautiful card, really nicely centered. And I like it again with the batting cage in the back. And that's really a nice, perfectly centered card. This is a Dylan card right here, Dylan. You know, and it doesn't have any of these cards tend to have fisheye, especially in the black area here, or in the Yankees. And I don't believe this has much. Maybe a tiny, something, yeah, maybe a tiny little bit, but it's a beautiful Mantle, nicely centered in a 7. In the back, you know, it's nice too, of course. Nice sharp Mantle. And I love when they do this, when they put all the stats in the back like that. You know, here he was 13 years. But, you know, the problem with Mantle was the injury. So here it is. Mick was hampered by several injuries, several serious injuries in '63. The sensational switch hitter won the AL batting crown in '56. So that's the 1964 Mickey Mantle. Let's move on to the 1963. So there's 21 cards in the run. And this is the 1963 Mantle. And this one's in a 6. This one's again another tough one because of the green in the bottom. It's tough to get it like that. You know, it's just not an easy card to get. And this one's in a 6, so that's a 63. And that's got the 2 pictures of him here, and then it's got the little picture there. And it's a little bit off-centered there, but this is a tough one to get in any grade higher than a 5 because of that, and hit 14 World Series homers. So there's a 1963 Mantle in a 6. I'll throw him over here. And next is the 1962. And the 62 was a set that I've talked about before, because I got this set from the original owner, and one of the main reasons I wanted to buy the set, because when I looked at the Mantle that was in there, it was awesome. And you saw the other one was off-centered, which is the All-Star, but this one was the 62 Mantle that came out in a 7, and it's so tough to find the 62s in a 7. And you know, a lot of people say that the old label is not graded properly. Well, I mean, this is a 7, and I think if they regraded this, it would be a 7, or maybe even a 7.5, or maybe even more, who knows. But I would never crack it out. It is what it is. It's got a tiny little tip in this corner, which you can't even tell. But look at that. That card came from the guy who pulled it right out of the pack, put the set together, and I bought the set from him with this Mantle. And I had it graded. I graded a 7 there, so that's this Mantle. So let's see where we go from here. Where do we go from here? Let's just cover up that Mantle here. And let's go to the 61 Mantle. So the 61 Mantle is it's another one of the nice Mantles, nice pose for Mantle. I'm just wiping it down here. And, you know, here we go. And this is also in a 7. And that's the 61 Mantle. This one is off-centered, a little bit off-center left to right. But that picture is awesome. It's got a little bit of a print mark here. I don't know if they all have that, but, you know, it's just a nice card, packed fresh. Did I show the back of this? I didn't show the back of this one. Let me show the back of this 62 here so you can see the back of the 62. I'm going to show the back of all of them, at least a little bit of it. So that's the back of 62. The back of the 61 is this. It's got the little cartoons in the back there, which I like to see. But anyway, that's the 61 Mantle in a 7. Let's go with the 1960 Mantle. And some people say that the 60 Mantle is probably one of the nicest sets because it's got the horizontal pose. And I agree with it. It's one of the nicest Mantles. It's got a great pose on there. It's got, you know, just, I love that where he's batting, and the Yankee logo is just awesome. So we'll take a good look at that Mantle here. And that's in a 7, also in a 7. So we'll look at that Mantle here. All these are the old slabs, but you know, it's nice. These are real tough. Again, the fisheye, you're gonna get a little bit of print mark, you know, there, a little bit of print mark over here, but overall, it's just a beautiful card. So we're gonna move over here and block that guy over here. Let's just get him over like that. How about that? Okay, so now we're gonna move on to the 59. And the 59 is another one of those cards that I really liked, and I've got my 59 set, and here's the 59. I just love this 59. This is one that I was a little disappointed when I got it back from the grading because I thought the centering was nice. It came back a 4.5, but you know, it is what it is. I really have not upgraded my mantles because I'm not one to upgrade too much. I mean, the only one I've upgraded was my early older sets, my Goodwin Champion sets, but this was just, the edges are rough now that I look at it again, but it was just beautifully centered. And it's got a little bit of a print mark there, and a little bit of a rough edge, but hey, it's a nice card. The image is awesome, the centering is perfect, and it's Mickey Mantle. It's a 4.5. It's the original one, you know. So, you know, back then, you know, you just bought the card that you could find, the best one you could find. They would be raw. And you had it graded, and I'm not one to upgrade these cards, really. I'll move on and buy something else that I don't have versus upgrading. Now, if I could do a deal where I can, you know, do a trade or something like that and get a better quality one, I may do that. But only for certain cards. There are some of the Mantle cards that have special meaning to me that I won't trade. You know, I won't, because, you know, I remember so well, you know. This one, I won't give that up. And the 59, if I get an upgrade, I probably will still keep that one because it's just got the memories of when I got that, how I got that. I got that in a yard sale. In a yard sale. So let's move on to the 58. 58 is in a 4. And again, it's a nice card, very nicely centered. It was tough to find these cards back in the day. You didn't see too many of these at the card shows. So I didn't have tons of options. So, you know, I went with the one that I thought was the best. Trying to get a good look at it here. We got the sun shining through here, but that's a nice mantle. It's got a great image. You know, it's got a little bit of soft corners there, as you could see, but not too bad. Really, I mean, it's just, to me, it's an awesome card. Awesome card. Love it. Love the 58 mantle. Here's the back of it. Trying to get some good look here. Here's the back of it. It's 58 mantle. Let's move on to the 57 mantle. 57 mantle. This was the first set that I put together from the 50s was the 57 set. And I just put this together, pieced it together. I bought a lot that had a bunch of them. And I just started putting it together, and then this was the mantle that I was able to find and get it in there. This is the 57 mantle in a 6. It's off-centered because it's just impossible to get them centered. But it was just, again, like I said, it was great image of Mick. It was they're sharp cards, almost pack fresh cards. And that's kind of, in those days, what you looked for a little bit more than the centering. Good image, good registration, and pack fresh. Centering was, you know, now you really never saw centered cards back there. Very rarely did you see centered cards. And this one is perfectly centered in the back. And that's what happens a lot of times. You see how the back is perfectly centered? And the front is off-center side to side. So it's a tough combination. But again, I went for the image and tried to pick up the card that I really liked. And that's what I got for my 57. So, 56. 56 was my favorite card. At the time that I got this card, it was really my first 1950s mantle. I was just happy to get it. It was the first time that I could actually afford to buy a Mantle card. And the 56 was the one that I was looking for. So, you know, it was the one for, and that's the one I got. And I still have my first Mantle card from the 50s. And even though it graded a 3, because at that time I was just wanting to have it, and I found this one that was nicely centered, had a great image, didn't have any creases. It just had rough corners. So I picked up this one. It's got the gray back. So I'll show you the gray back. So this one, again, I'm never gonna sell this one because this is one that was really my first big Mantle from the 50s. And it just got you know, I just fell in love with the card. It was a beautiful card. And what I am thinking of doing, and the only thing I'm looking to do is to pick up, not to really upgrade this card, but to pick up the white back in a better grade than a 3. And that will be the upgrade, but then I can keep this one too. So that's kind of something I'm probably gonna look to. I know that Adam from Vintage Sanctuary picked one up, and I'm probably gonna look for that in the at the National. Maybe I'll do that at the National. Let me see what I would do. I'm not, you know, if it comes up, I'm not specifically looking for stuff like that because I'm sticking to my focus right now, which is the pre-war, and just trying to do some of my my goals there. I'll continue with that focus, and I'll talk more about that in later videos. But let's go on with the Mantle run. And so you got the 56 tops, and you know there was no 55 tops or 54 tops, unfortunately. So he signed with Bowman. So this is the 55 Bowman in a 6. And I mean, this was probably my least favorite Mantle. It's just, I don't know, I just don't like this set that much, even though it's growing on me. And this card is beautiful because I think once if you get them in nice condition with no chipping, like this one, they do look nice. But if they have that chipping, it's just kind of like the 62s and the 71s, it's very distracting. But this is a beautiful 6 Mantle, and very, very nicely centered. It's tough to get these centered too. And that's the back of this one here. So you can see that. So let's put that over here. Not blocking too much. And then again in 54, Mantle was not in tops. He was in the Bowman. And this 54 came from, I put together this set also. I ended up selling the set. Of course, I kept the Mantles. And that's what I do a lot. You know, what I did, I built the set. I was a set builder for many years. But then I just wanted to do the Mantle run. So I started selling off some of my sets so I could pick up some of the nicer Mantles that I didn't have. So this is the 54 Bowman. And again, you can see it's a 5 because the centering is bad top to bottom. Side to side is nice. And again, it's got a beautiful, oops, almost knocked over my camera. You know, it's got, normally, sometimes you'll see some print marks there, but this one's pretty much packed fresh. Give you a good look at the Mantle. Just a nice picture of Mick there. I love looking at my cards and just spending time with them. You know, when you buy your cards, guys, don't just, you know, you put them away and you don't look at them again. You know, I put them away, but I pull them out again. I look at these, and I try to look at my mantles every couple months or so. Just kind of go through it like this, and it's just, you know, you collect you have a collection. You have to enjoy your collection, and that's kind of what it is. You know, if you look at my videos, yeah, I pick up some big cards, but I don't pick up a lot of cards. I just only pick up, you know, if I had to do just pickup videos, I wouldn't be doing too many pickup videos. I'll tell you that. So from there, 54 Bowman, we're gonna move on to the 53 Bowman. And the 53 Bowman is just one of the most beautiful cards from Mantle. I just really, really love the pose that he has there with the background Yankee Stadium, and it's an actual picture of Mickey when he was young, you know. And this is just a beautifully centered card. It's just a gorgeous, gorgeous card. It's one of my favorites. I had another one of these cards that actually had a pinhole in it, and I wish I still would have kept that, but I did sell that so I can get this better one. This one is in a 7 with a stain, but it is so packed fresh that the gum still stained it. It's got the gum and the wax stain on that. That's how packed fresh that is. It didn't bother me when I bought it. It doesn't bother me still. The back is, this card is just gorgeous and minty mint. And it's got the rough edges here, and you can see where they should have cut it right there. It's got like a print line where the should have cut it, and it's got the natural rough edge. That's called the registration mark right there. If you didn't know about that, that's where it should have been cut. So it would have been exactly perfect. But sharp card, pretty much right out of the pack with the gum stain on the back. It's a beautiful 53 Bowman Mantle. Let me see. I'm gonna have to move some mantles out of the way. It's a Mantle fest here. Okay, I'm covering some up because I gotta look at the big guys, the nicer ones. Yeah, the 50s. I love the 50s mantles. And talking about loving the 50s mantles, my favorite Mantle, my biggest purchase at the time was my 53 Topps Mantle. My favorite set from the 50s, and my favorite Mantle overall is this 53 Mantle. Boy, I love this card. I love this set. I almost put this set together. I was only missing a couple cards, but I was missing the maze, and just didn't want to put the money into it at the time. So I didn't get the maze, and I ended up selling the set. But I remember picking up this Mantle from a dealer, and it was a big, for me, it was big money back then. It cost me $500. And I remember having to go to the bank to get the money and stuff, come back to the show and pay the guy because I didn't have it. I'm so glad I got it. It's a beautiful, beautiful Mantle. It's nicely centered, a little bit top to bottom, but I love it because it gives it more of the red. No chipping on the red. Just a little bit of the off-centering. Beautiful registration on that Mantle. I just love this card. This was, to me, one of the biggest purchases. I remember I got it from a dealer. He had bought it from a collector that came in to sell it to him. So I know this has only been through a couple of hands. Just like most of my other Mantles. In those days, I used to get them directly from the dealers or get them from for me as the dealer, they come to me with Mantles. I was anxious to buy. So, all right, we're almost to the end, guys. I hope you're enjoying the show. We're 40 minutes into it, but it's a Mantle Fest, and we're going to go ahead and finish it up. And the bigger cards are coming. Well, yeah, the bigger cards are still coming. So let's go now to the 1952 Bowman Mantle in a 5. And this one is just another beautiful Mantle. I love him. He's in the dugout there. He's kind of sitting there with, it's got the facsimile autograph on there. This one's nicely centered side to side, just a little bit top to bottom. But a beautiful picture, really, really nice registration on that. No print marks and stuff on it. Just really a beautiful picture of Mickey Mantle, 1952. That's in a 5. And I'll show you the back of this one here. Just a nice Mantle. 1952 Mantle. It's just I love these 50s Mantles, and the Bowmans are really, really, really nice Mantles. Let's move some of these guys over here. Make some room. It's because we got some big guys. So now we got 2 Mantles left. And I'm gonna hold I was listening to a podcast with Dr. Beckett and Victor, the rookie card specialist, and they were talking about rookie cards, and they were talking about the importance of the rookie card. And then they went on to talk about the Mantle. And, a good point that, let me get to I'm going to show the rookie, and then what Dr. Beckett called the, kind of like the rookie card with the asterisk, and I'll explain why. So this is the rookie card that I've got for Mantle. I bought this in a collection, and I sold off all of the cards in the collection to pay off for it, so it didn't cost me really anything on that. And this is in a 3, and it's got a little stain there and stuff, and it's not a perfect card. It's got rough corners, and it's just not a perfect card, but it's a 3, and it's a Mantle rookie card. And I got it raw and graded it many years ago. But you can see it's still got a good picture of the Mick. It's really still a nice card, nicely centered. These cards are so tough to get centered. They're impossible to get centered. So to get one that is, decently centered is it's good enough for me. I could not afford one now. Could never afford to get one now. So I will settle for this one, even though it's got, some defects. It's got like a water stain here. They say that you can soak the card and remove that water stain. No, I don't think so. I'm not touching my cards. I know where it came from. I got this from the original owner's son. The guy passed away. He went through the garage and he found this card and a whole collection. I bought a bunch of 51s. I bought some 52s. He had all the way to 53s and 54s and a few 55s. And in there was this Mantle. So and a bunch of 53 Bowmans were also there. And that 53 Bowman that had the pinhole that I talked to you about, that was also in this set, in this one here. So that is the 1951 Bowman rookie card. But Dr. Beckett was saying, and Victor was saying, that if you ask people and say to them, what is the iconic card? What is the Mantle card that everyone knows and thinks it's his rookie card? And he considers it to be almost like an XRC rookie card, because it's just, you know, that famous, and it's just the iconic card, and it's the card that I've been looking for my entire life, and that's the 52 Topps Mantle. And this is the heart of my collection. This is the card that I've been looking for all of my life, and I was able to find it in such a beautiful condition. And I've told the story on this card many times, and you can go back and look at the video. And this card, I'll share it one more time. This card came from the person who pulled it out of the pack. They found, when he passed away, in a box with his toys, they found a group of little over 80 52 Topps high number cards wrapped in twine, a piece of twine. And it was in a box with other little toys, little knickknacks and things that the man that passed away had. And the family members ended up finding it, and they contacted a friend who happened to be a relative of the auction house where I got it. And I bought it at auction, and I know the whole story. The owner of the auction house went to these people's house, got it, saw all the collection, got them all graded, and fortunately for me, some of the cards were minimum size, like this one. It says authentic altered. Scared everybody else away. But when it was reevaluated by SGC, they said it was a minimum size card. It's not altered. And I have a letter from the person who actually discovered this find. And this was the card I sold most of my collection to get. I used to have a lot of Willie Mays, Hank Aaron's, Jackie Robinson's. I no longer have any Jackie Robinson cards, and very few Willie Mays, and very few Hank Aaron's. But I've got my Mickey Mantle. I've got the card that I've been searching for my entire collecting life. And I'm glad I can share it with you guys, and you can take a look at this one. You can see how nice that card is, because it literally came out of the pack and was hidden away for 70 years until it finally came out. About, I think 4 or 5 years ago I got it. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I really, really appreciate it. Just enjoy the hobby, guys. Way too long of a video, but I had to share these one more time with you guys. So thanks for watching. Have an awesome day. It's Orlando from A Collector's Dream. Catch you on the next one.